Hello, everybody. This is Paul Abraham. I'm so delighted to be here at the invitation of the Sarmaya Institute of Dhamma Studies. And it's fascinating to know that you guys are doing this conference on the whole subject of culture, history, and, our years of heritage. We at Sarmaya would love to take you through a quick journey of ours. Sarmaya is, as we wish to call it, a museum without boundaries. But essentially, Sarmaya is a repository of Indian art, culture, heritage. We have a very, very interesting genre of collections, which is housed in an archive in Mumbai. And we use these objects and artifacts to tell stories of the wonderful heritage of this land we call India and our home. It's, something that I started, the journey many, many years ago. I was set off on this journey by my father in some ways. I grew up in Delhi, but for now, more than a couple of decades, I am in Mumbai. Delhi was a city that was full of visible and tangible history all around you. And my father had moved there from Kerala, which was my home state, way back in 1948. And when he moved, when I grew up to be a teenager, he gave me this little bottle, which you see on the screen, a Vaseline bottle with a few coins of Travancore, which was the home state from where he had come, as a reminder of my legacy. And that set me off on this journey of, being interested in history and being interested in objects and artifacts and things like that. Today, of course, the collection has, coins, it has maps, it has 19th century photography, engravings, rare books, indigenous art, and modern and contemporary art. We are a museum that follows a hybrid model, which means basically that we have a very active digital presence, and we also combine that with events. We are not a museum space in the conventional sense, because we don't have a physical display space of our own like the traditional museums have. We do have the ability for people to come and visit our archive, and we are essentially looking to cover audiences both digitally and through events which are held outside of our physical space. We speak to a range of audiences. We speak to young children, we speak to young adults like yourselves, and we speak to more senior audiences, and we try and mix and match the focus of our engagement accordingly. So just to reiterate, Sarmaya is a digital museum with a physical collection that represents the diverse history and artistic traditions of the subcontinent. Our aim is to set young Indians like yourselves on the path towards discovering your cultural inheritance through a critical and, very importantly, a compassionate lens. Using our collection as the starting point, we create online and on-ground programming that sparks curiosity, invites dialogue, and fosters a deeper engagement with our shared heritage. So there are a few crucial things in there. One is, it's our heritage. India's heritage is our heritage. The diversity of this heritage is incredible, and we need to learn and understand that. We need to be always mindful of the fact that history can be seen through multiple lenses. And therefore, while you critique it and you understand it and you learn about it, always try and be compassionate about the other's point of view. And we also want to set you off on this journey of curiosity. Very important that you get engaged, you feel the need to, learn more, and you feel the need to go and explore. And it's multi-genre. Remember that in our country, the culture manifests in various shapes and forms, whether it is through sculpture, whether it is through living traditions, whether it is through architecture, whether it is through coins, whether it is through tribal art. There are many ways we manifest our culture. And it would be fantastic if we could spark that curiosity in you to learn more. Okay, quickly about the Sarmaya collection. And if ever you are interested, please do write in to Sarmaya. We have, people come into our archive and engage with these collections. Okay, we have, like it says there, over 9,000 objects of art, history, culture, represented through the various genres. A lot of them you see on the screen. There are maps, there are, prints and engravings, there's modern art, there's rare books, there are very interesting coins, numismatics as it's called, and of course, 19th century photography and modern art, So it's a wide range, and, we have all these objects documented. A lot of them are available on our digital properties, which I'll talk about in a moment. Okay, how do we engage? And why do we engage in the way we do? Our approach is essentially, Sarmaya is a museum that comes to you, okay? Partly that has come as a compulsion because we don't have a physical space, of course. But more importantly, we feel that there are audiences in places in this country where the privilege of accessing physical spaces like we have in cities like Mumbai is not there. So rural India, for example, where would they go if they want to see the kind of stuff we have in our collection or the kind of stuff that is showcased in our traditional museums like CSMVS and Bhavdaji Lad and things like that? So we find the need to provide access driving a lot of the way we program. And we use digital very actively, as you can see on the screen. We have films, we have spotlights, we have social media, we have talks which are digitally available, free to access. We have collaborations, we have exhibitions, and so on, and a variety of other properties. And a lot of this is available to be accessed from any part of the country, any part of the world, because it's digitally provided. And the reason for that is we find that we cannot have a, binary structure to the way people access our art, culture, and history. Either you come to a museum or you don't have access at all. That's not on. Maybe standing in front of an object is, a wonderful experience which cannot be matched, if you are looking at it digitally. But the converse, that there is no access if it's not a physical access, is not correct. Because we feel that people out there who cannot make it to, the big cities typically where some of these conventional museums are available, we feel that we need to get to them. The second and more important thing, to my mind, is that you can layer your stories. In a typical museum, you go there, you see, you read the metadata, and then you're finished. After that, if you want to stay in touch, how do you do that? So in our case, we have layered storytelling. We have things like Instagram, we have things like websites, YouTube, or all these channels. You engage not just once, you engage as you want to, at your pace, from your own location, and we are able to tell you the story in short format, in longer format, in visual format, in written format. So our approach is that we want to follow a hybrid model of programming, and we want to give access through multiple properties that we use so that you relate to what you feel comfortable with. So, just to talk about one of the properties that we have, which we call spotlights. Now, a spotlight for us is like a magazine feature. So every few weeks, we pick up a subject and we go deep inside the subject with many formats of engagement. So you'll have long form articles that address various facets of the subject. So if we talk about the thing on the screen, for example, the Sea of Stories, it talks of all the ways which we, engage with water. Our coastlines are famous for the number of ports that colonial India and before that used for trade. And they all became cities, like Cochin, like Chennai, like Pondicherry, like Dabhol, like Surat. And we also have a lot of places in the country where historical cities have come up on the banks of rivers, next to big water bodies and things like that. So we explore the whole aspect of water and our history and how the two are related through videos, through talks, through big articles. So it's like a magazine feature of the old days. You pick up a magazine and there is a cover story, and the cover story is told to you in many ways. In our case, we have many ways of telling you the story. So this is one of our very interesting properties, which I would urge you to view on our website, and then from there you are directed in many different directions to go and explore. We also have, like you can see here, many other properties. We have YouTube, where you will listen to and see talks, movies, short snippets, animated cartoons and things like that. We also have exhibitions. So Echoes of the Land was an exhibition we had recently in Delhi, where we engaged with the issue of climate change and art. How art and artists respond to the issue of climate change. How some see this as a spiritual connection, how some see this as a connection of the land, how some people feel frustrated that some of these things are not working for them. And also on YouTube, if you see, there are a lot of, movies, talks, and things like that, which you can actively engage with. Some of these are people who are, serious academics in the space, and they can, talk you through a lot of depth in the subjects that you want to engage in. Very importantly, I want to talk to you about education. We want to reach diverse groups of children, and also we want to reach diverse groups of young adults. Okay. And the reason is that we feel that in this day and age, language literacy and numeracy are very important to master. But really, the challenge is how do you build, emotional strength in people? So EQ is based on understanding our heritage, our history, our culture. And those are the soft inputs that make for strong citizens. We feel more secure when we know of the incredible wealth that this country has. We feel proud of our country. We feel proud of ourselves. We feel happy in our diversity. We feel, we go back a long time. There's so much to learn from our history. We feel that we have culture being practiced in the form of living traditions, in the form of tribal art, and in the form of our textile traditions, our craft traditions, which are hundreds and thousands of years old. So it is something that gives us solidity, gives us pride, and we love to engage, and we have very active presence with partners which go into rural India and cover thousands of children. And we work with organizations like Pratham, Learning Links Foundation, and these are, modules that we build for them, digital content, training programs, and they reach over 1 lakh children and across a variety of socio-economic backgrounds. And this content is provided free and it is available for all to access. So if there are teachers who want to use some of this content in developing their own engagement strategies with their students, you're most welcome to use it. It's on our website, it's on our YouTube channel, and there are multiple resources. There are quizzes, there are worksheets, there are stencils, there are movies, there are animated cartoons, and you can engage with one subject itself in multiple formats. So that's something that we are very, very happy to do and continue to do. And if any of you want to work with us or help us develop this content, we would welcome that. We really look forward to this whole subject of art, culture, heritage, education being revitalized in our country in such a way that it becomes an inherent part. Under the new education policy, arts are a crucial input into young minds' development and well-being, and it is now more or less compulsory to be a part of the curriculum. So we really look forward to inputs from people like yourselves about what could be done, how we could engage more, and active engagement and feedback on what we are doing is also welcomed. Another thing that we do regularly is to have exhibitions, and these are exhibitions on ground. They've been held in multiple cities, in Mumbai, Goa, Delhi. We also have digital exhibitions in partnership with various international organizations. We also do stuff where we are having panel discussions with international museums, live streaming of their exhibitions. So we, in some senses, have the ability to create the physical space, but we always try and make sure that it is in engaging with a theme that is contemporary. So we did a photography exhibition which was harking to identity. We did an exhibition about the city of Mumbai at the Jahangir Art Gallery. We did an exhibition in Delhi on climate change and contemporary responses of artists. We did a thing on erasure of identity, which was done in Mumbai, and so on. So there's a bunch of exhibitions that have, been done. We'd urge you to sign up so that we can inform you about these exhibitions as and when they happen. So these are physical exhibitions, and they are often using our collections across genres. So it's not just painting, or it's about coins, it's about photography, it's about contemporary art, indigenous art, rare books. We mix and match. And it's a wonderful opportunity for all of you to really, in an exciting way, engage with contemporary subjects. So I would urge all of you to, stay in touch, register yourself so that we can send you the, information, and you can, stay in touch with us on a regular basis and, keep engaged. Okay, now I am kind of reaching the end of my brief presentation. Before I go, I want to introduce you to another one of our properties, which I would love for you to, go and check out and give us feedback, and also give us ideas on what are the kind of properties you would love to see on Sarmaya's platform. These are movies that we made on some of our living traditions. So the one on the left is called Tolu Bomalata, which basically is the dance of shadow puppets. And this is an art form that is prevalent in many states of southern India, but most actively in Andhra Pradesh. There are variants in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Orissa, and Telangana. And the one on the right is a wonderful, art tradition called Mithila or Madhubani paintings. These are from Bihar, and these are from a district, the district of Madhuban, which of course is particularly of relevance to us in our country, because this is the state from which, the district from which Sita is supposed to have come. And a lot of these art traditions have been in existence for hundreds of years, but literally came to light only in the 20th century, when somebody went and traveled to this place and discovered that such an art form existed. And imagine walking around in a town, in a village, where all the walls are painted, there are stories behind each painting. It's so culturally alive and fascinating. So please do go and see these films. They are beautiful. They give you a good sense of some of the art forms that exist in our country. And certainly, I would welcome you guys taking time and interest and reverting to us with some ideas and your feedback on what you think of Sarmaya as a platform and the various properties of Sarmaya, and tell us what more we can do. And that brings me to the last slide. This is just to give you an overall sense of what we do. We have had in these 4-5 years of our existence. We officially started in 2015. The collection journey, of course, started a few decades ago for me personally. But we set up Sarmaya officially in 2015 and got active largely from 2017. So in 6 years of our existence, on average, we do 100,000 children every year. We've had, multiple virtual exhibitions where we collaborate with international institutions, local institutions, to bring digitally and bring alive collections from elsewhere to our audiences. We've hosted 47 Sarmaya talks. Each of those talks typically has 2 very senior speakers, and they talk about everything from art, culture, language, stories that will really be, diverse and exciting. And I'd urge you to, follow us and, keep track of all of this. Everything is available on the platforms for you to access freely. We have more than 10,000 books in our library pertaining to a lot of these subjects across our genres. And if there is ever something you want to refer, write into us, and you can have access to some of these books and publications. We do, like I said, spotlights, which are like magazine features. They address subjects in a very, very deep and engaging way. We have more than 8,500, almost 9,000 objects. And of course, we have a very active viewership across our platforms. And I urge you all to be part of this journey. Thank you so much. It was a delight being here today. And I would say that, for me personally, I was a banker. And the journey into art, history, culture has been so rewarding, because in India, we have tons of stuff to offer. Tons. Take my word for it. We are a culturally alive and rich country. We have such diversity across. It takes multiple lifetimes to understand everything, but let's make a start. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sarmaya Institute of Dhamma Studies, for inviting me. I'm sad that I couldn't be there in person, but I'd love to come and join you one of these days. Many, many thanks.